earlier today, man, he inspired me like crazy. And I'm supposed to be the guy that inspires. And here I am riding with him in the truck, and he's inspiring me like crazy. But I asked him a question, and I asked him, I said, if there were some younger people in the exact business that you started, and they asked your advice on what should they do to build something similar to what you all have built here, what advice would you give them? And he said, well, I would tell them, do things the right way, treat people right. And he said, I would tell them work, work your tails off, right? And I said, in my head, I said, man, we live in a world to where I don't know if people appreciate what things produce. In my whole life, the only advantage that I've ever had as a person, I've never been the most talented, never been the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, even though I was a four-sport athlete my whole life, at the top of every sport that I've ever played, I was never the most talented. I was never the fastest guy, never the strongest guy. I've always been a small guy my whole life. I was that guy who would show up, and they knew that I was the guy that played football. They knew behind the jersey I was probably number 3 or number 29 in college, but when I would show up on the scene, I would always get the reaction, this is the guy? Because I was small. I didn't even look the part. But the only thing I've always had, my only advantage was I wasn't afraid of hard work. But most importantly, I knew what I represented. And so by knowing what I represented, my commitment, my dedication, and my perfection to my craft and what I represented, it was always on another level. And so now when guys did 10 sprints, I did 30. Because I knew I was working for something greater than myself, and what I represented was always greater than myself. And for example, 2 weeks ago, I was with a kid downtown Atlanta. And I took him downtown, and me and my wife, we have a foundation. It's where we work with homeless shelters. We've adopted 3, right? And we work with kids, teenagers, right? We take them, we put them in uncomfortable situations, and we challenge their perspective and their thought process about life. So it was this 15-year-old kid. He had been acting up in school, giving his mom problems. He hadn't seen his father since he was born, basically. And I take him downtown Atlanta, and I take him right under a bridge. And so now you got Turner Field, you got where the Falcons play, where the Hawks play, you got the world of Coca-Cola, you got a jail, you got these successful companies, you got people going to work, got the briefcases, doing their thing, you got life happening. And then you got under a bridge, you got a gentleman, a grown man, sound asleep, cardboard box, sleeping, as if a person would be in a bed sleeping. And I looked at the kid, and I said, do you think he planned to be there? I said, do you think when he got of age at a certain point in his life, do you think he said, man, one day I'll probably be sleeping under a bridge on a cardboard box? The kid said, no. I said, what do you think happened? The kid said, I don't know. What do you think happened, eh? I said, I think life happened. He said, what do you mean life? I said, I think at a certain point in his life, he was excited, he was jacked, he enjoyed something. He was a part of something special. Something had a legacy attached to it, whether it was his family, whether it was a dream, a goal, an aspiration. I think at a certain point, every day he got up, something he represented, he got excited about it, he was driven, he was committed, he was dedicated about it, he was stoked about it, he was jacked about it. But I think at a certain point, life made him forget what he represented. And life stole his joy, his peace, his happiness. Life stripped him of that drive. Life took that dedication, that commitment, so much so to the guy that was once driven, to the guy that was once happy and excited about what he was a part of and what he represented and the legacy that was attached to it. That same guy ended up sleeping under a bridge. The only advantage I've ever had, everything I encountered and everything I ever hit in my life, I understood what I represented, and life will never take that away from me. And so on September 9th, 2006, when I'm 8 games away from being a projected first-round draft pick, and my life changed overnight, something I had been working for since I was 7 years old, in a park with my mother, watching her sit in an old beat-up Buick Regal when she had me at 16 years old, and she took me back to a 2-bedroom home, 14 people, sleeping on the floor with roaches and rats, and missing meals when I was a kid. It was times when I went to practice, I hadn't even eaten. And guys would be out there complaining, and the only thing I was working on was my work ethic and my drive and my dream and my goal to get to where I was trying to get to. And I knew if I would have stopped in that moment, I would never get to where I was trying to get to. I would really miss meals. And I'm working toward this dream and this goal, and I finally get to the point. I could smell it, I could taste it, I could see it, and I'm a part of something.
I'm a part of something like a Southern Motion, but it was University of Tennessee. I'm a part of a game to where I got my guys, right? And we go and we work every single day. We show up 5 o'clock in the morning. We're working towards something. We got an element of collective character. We got an element of responsibility, accountability. We got an element, man, when I tell you I got your back, I got your back. When I tell you I care about you, I care about you. When I tell you I love you, I love you. I was a part of something. And I get to the point to where I'm a projected first-round draft pick, and I go out and I make a tackle, and this is the thing that people don't even know. People know my life changed behind the game of football, but people don't understand the play and how it happened. People don't know that wasn't even my guy. People don't know I had my guy already. I could have easily faded down the sideline, running with my guy as the quarterback was dropping back to release the ball, but as I'm running and checking my guy, I see my teammate getting beat. My guy who I told in the tunnel, hey man, if you get beat, I got your back. And I knew my teammate probably would have caught the guy if he would have caught the ball, because my teammate, he went on to be a first round, 10 pick, multi-million-dollar guy, went on to play for the Patriots. So I knew he was a pretty talented guy, and he probably would have caught the guy and tackled him. But I told him, hey man, if you get beat, I got your back. And it just so happened, a play unfolded with a little bit over 2 minutes left in the game to where my guy, now he was getting beat. And I'm fading off on my guy, but I see the quarterback, he was releasing the ball to the guy that was beating my teammate. And I said, man, I gotta go, I gotta have his back. And I go up and I roll up and I go to hit this guy to end the game. This tackle probably would have ended the game if I'd have hit him and caught him the right way. If I'd have hit him and caught him how I really wanted to catch him, it probably would have ended the game and I would have made him fumble, because I knew the game of football like you guys know the furniture business. I knew it in and out. Like a guy take 2 steps off the line of scrimmage, I could tell you which way he was going. A guy would cut inside, I could tell you it's only about 3 things he can do out of this formation. Like I knew it in and out. And so I knew if I'd have caught him in the right location at the right time, I'd have popped that ball out. But it didn't work like that. I hit him, and as soon as I hit him, it seemed as if every breath in my body left. I lost control of my body. Never happened to me before. Body went completely limp. Seemed as if every breath in my body left. I'm falling to the ground like, man, what's happening? And I black out. As soon as I hit the ground, I black out. Never happened to me before. And I black out, I come back to, my teammates run over to me. Hey, Ink, get up, man, let's rock, let's go. I said, I can't. I said, what do you mean you can't? You always get up, let's roll. I said, I can't move. So there's a shock going from my neck to my toe. I can't feel anything. The shock eventually left and it stayed in my right arm and hand. I remember as I was lying there, they were bringing the spine board out. They put me up on the spine board, and as they're wheeling me off the field, I looked up to the sky and said, surely nothing has happened in this moment that can alter my life. This is what I love to do. They get me over to the ambulance. They said, man, we're going to take you to the hospital, run some CAT scans. We'll bring you back into your room. We'll tell you what's up. I said, all right, cool. They take me in the room. They run CAT scans. They bring me back into another room. And when they put me into the room in my hospital bed, my mother comes in. She kisses me. She prays for me. And as she's going to walk out, doctors rush in from the opposite side as my mother is walking out. And when my mother told me, son, you'll be all right, there was a certain element of peace attached to it. Because I have been with my mother my whole life. Me and my father, our relationship was pretty much a business relationship. Early years, he wasn't there. When I started playing sports, he came along in the picture, but I needed him to get out of my situation, right? And so we had a business relationship. But when my mother said something to me, I had been rocking with my mother since I was 16. I had missed meals with my mother since she was 16, And so when she said it would be okay, I was like, all right, cool. And as she's going to walk out, doctors running in. They say, hey guys, get in here. We got to rush him back to surgery. He's about to die. I said, it's a new ball game. Like I was a part of the football game, but this is a new game.